Hello, YouTube. Alright, as you can see, we are actually out here again at the compound today. And I'm going to try to cook up kind of an elaborate meal using leftovers. This is the Publix chicken, fried chicken that I got left over from the other day. It's the last of the chicken. It's about 2 days old. Actually, 3 days old. And I've been keeping it cold inside my 12-volt cooler that I have, you know, the console cooler inside the vehicle. I've been putting ice in it every day. Bags, not bags, but cups of ice. So it should still be good, but I am going to cook it. So I've got the Coleman butane stove that I'll be cooking everything on today instead of my normal homemade hobo stove or, you know, miniature rocket stove, just for a little variety for you guys. And the first thing we're going to do with this is just basically put in some oil here. This is just vegetable oil. I'm going to be putting that into the pan here, heating it up, ripping up the chicken and cooking that up. Even though it's already cooked, I'm just going to simply break off pieces and use it to cook up a bit. I've already made some of my rice, my white rice on my way over here. This was made in the inverter cooking system inside Little Blue 2. If you want to learn how I did that, you can watch previous episodes of the Cooking with Denoy, where you see me hundreds of times making rice using the inverter cooking system. Now I could actually cook this whole thing inside the van, yeah, drive somewhere and have the food ready to eat when I get there, but I thought I would come out here to do a little bit of exploring out here at the compound today. Anyhow, you'll notice I've got a new water dispenser. Yeah, I ended up breaking down and just buying a new one. Well, it's not really new. I bought this used from Goodwill for $1.99, and it basically has a little spigot that you can push and water comes out. I'm replacing my old one here. You can see it's seen better days. This Persil Pro Clean used to be a laundry detergent holder, and it had a nice little bulb cap dispenser. See how that works? But the problem is that busted, and you can see this one's seen like 3 years of use. So rather than get another laundry detergent holder, I went ahead and bought this one for $2 from Goodwill. They normally sell them new, I think probably about $5 maybe at Walmart or something. But I figured $2, I'm willing to spend it to hold the water. I'm not planning on using it to hold drinking water because it can get contaminated easily. Although, you know, if I was using one for drinking water, it would work. I guess it's designed for drinking water. Something I wanted to point out, though, about these things. They work nice, but as you push this lever and water comes out, it's pulling the water out and it's creating a vacuum in there. So the water will eventually stop. I can let this run for a while. Actually, I'm going to catch some water here to use to clean things. So I got the a second pot here that I'm going to put down here just to catch the water. And I'm going to be using it to wash off the vegetables and stuff. But you'll notice the water's getting slower and slower as we go by, you know, as we keep running it, and eventually it stops on its own, and you say, hey, why is it not producing any more water? And the reason for that is there's actually a vacuum in here now at this point, so this will stop working. So to make sure that you can always have water when you want to open up the cap a little bit, and, you know, just have a little gap there for air to come in, and you can see the water works fine when you do that. Because what happens is the water comes out, the water level goes down, and air gets pulled in its place instead of creating a vacuum. Just a little lesson in physics. So we're just going to fill that up a little bit with water, and I'm going to use it to rinse off the vegetables that I'll be using today. And I'll go ahead and close that back off. Even with it shut, it'll work for a little bit, but, you know, as the vacuum pressure opens up, as the vacuum builds up, the water level slows down until it stops. So I've got this bucket, or this pot of water that I'm going to use to rinse things off. So without further ado, let's get started. We are going to be heating up the chicken, then throwing in the rice. And while that's cooking, I'm going to cut up the onion stalks, green onion stalks, and also some cucumber. And of course, we're going to use some Badia Complete. I'm going to have some red pepper to eat with it, and lemon juice. And of course the soy sauce is what's going to go on to make the fried rice. Speaking of which, I need to get more soy sauce. Okay, so let's go ahead and start up the cooking process. The first thing we're going to do is turn the stove on, throw in the oil, and get that thing cooking. I did tell you guys I was going to try to show you more actual cooking. So I'm going to try to use my virtual assistant here and see how well it works. We'll see if this thing actually helps me film. Alright, I got my virtual assistant set up, and it looks like it is filming. So what we're going to do at this point is turn the heat on here. I flip the switch, started up the fire. Can't tell. Okay, there's flames. It's hard to see the flames on here. Now, something important about using this cooker, the butane system, is see how large this pan is? You don't want it to cover this portion of it with the butane canister, so I kind of keep it slightly off. And the reason you don't want it on there is the heat transfers from the pan and will go over the butane canister, which could cause an explosion if it gets too hot. So I am going to throw in some oil at this point, just a little bit of oil to fry things up. You see the oil is heating up, and slosh it around a little bit. There's our oil. Alright, looking good. So I'm going to take some chicken here. This is the Publix leftover Publix chicken. I'm simply just going to rip it up, toss it in there. Wow, it's splattering everywhere. Whoa! Got some oil on myself here. Jeez! It's exploding! That's dangerous. Alright, so I got chunks of chicken. It looks like this is a chicken breast, actually, which is good. They're a little big. So I'm going to break them up just a little bit more here. I know I have a big mouth, but I don't think it's that big. So, alright. This is one way to change up your food. You know, this is leftover chicken 3 days old. And I am turning it into chicken fried rice. Alright, I think I'm going to turn the heat down a little bit because it may be cooking a lot faster than I'm able to keep up with. So turn the heat down a little. My garbage bag here to put garbage into. And I'm going to stir it up just a little bit. That doesn't already get burnt on one side. There's a lot of chicken here. So we're going to go ahead and take our chicken leg here and use that up as well too. So I'll toss the skin in there with the breading and everything. Yeah. Let's not make this hard. We're going to take the chicken. You might be wondering why I'm bothering to cook the chicken. It's already done. Well, it just makes it taste better. It'll be warmer. And in case there's any bacteria, hopefully the heat will kill it. Because, you know, this is 3-day-old chicken. Well, it's more than 3 days old, but 3 days since I bought it. And even though I had it refrigerated in my vehicle, there's a chance it could have stuff growing on it. So I'm going to heat everything back up and let this thing cook. Just in case you were wondering what that thunk was, that was me hitting my head on the door of the van. I had the door open and it's right by me, it's right behind where I'm sitting, and I turned around and whacked my head. Ouch! Okay, so we're gonna turn the heat back up, stir things up, then we're just gonna toss. Oh, I forgot. I have some frozen vegetables. Cannot forget this frozen vegetable that I bought from Walmart for today, specifically for this. So I'm going to go ahead and turn the heat back up and toss this all back in and let it cook. I don't know if it went out. Okay, I'm going to turn everything completely off. Turn it back on. You know, that's the thing about this butane stove outside. I can't tell if it's on or not. I can feel heat coming, so... And I can hear it sizzling, so it's on. Whoa. You see I had the windbreaker on here too, so try to block the wind from blowing it out. Wind will blow this thing out. Okay, so I'm gonna go ahead and toss this vegetable mix in there, and I think I'll go ahead and add the whole batch. So we're making like a lot of extra rice and stuff out of this. This is gonna last me for brunch and dinner. So this is still frozen because I just went by the store this morning. I normally like the Asian stir-fry blend, but they charge too much for it at Walmart. I don't want to spend more than $1 on the veggies. So this packet was like $1. And you can see here we've got our stir-fried chicken, which you could actually have this and just put some flavoring on it, seasoning, and you would already have a nice little stir-fry dish. Now I am going to go ahead and sprinkle in a little bit of badia just to season the vegetables. You can see we got our badia here. And I'm just adding it to the vegetables and the chicken so that when we eat this, it'll have some flavoring. Alright. Doesn't that look good already? Certainly smells good. And now to top it off, we're going to add our rice, our white rice, which, let me get some mitts or something to hold it. I'm going to burn myself. I am going to grab some of this white rice. Whoa, this has got real windy here. So I'm grabbing some white rice right here. And what I'm going to do is simply just toss it in. Just like that. Obviously, I'm making more than enough food for one person. This is enough to feed 4 or 5 people. But I figured, what the hey, I'll go ahead and make it today. And I'll just have fried rice that I can save for, you know, dinner. Have it for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. Maybe even tomorrow if I have leftovers. So you can see the rice has been put in there. And it is kind of lumpy and really bad. So to soften it up, I'm going to add some Kikkoman soy sauce right here. You can see this is the Kikkoman. Sorry, it's a little blurry here. But I am going to go ahead and add this right onto the rice to give it a nice brown color and also soften it up a little bit. When the rice is kind of wet, it will be easier to stir and split up. So we're adding all the Kikkoman right here. Oh, you can hear the flames kicking the being blown around by the wind there. Alright, so the rice has been flavored with Kikkoman, and I'm kind of breaking it down right now just so I can start to mix things up. You can see this is plenty of food, way more than one person will be able to eat. I think the total cost of this whole meal, well, the chicken was kind of expensive because it was Publix chicken. I paid like $7 or $8 for the fried chicken, but I've had 3 meals out of it. So you'll see me often buy chicken that's already pre-cooked instead of cooking it myself. And the reason I do that is just time convenience. I don't like cooking raw chicken too much. I'll do it at home when I have a kitchen, but when I'm on the road, I prefer to buy the rotisserie chicken or even fried chicken that's already cooked. And the reason I do that is I'll eat it as rotisserie chicken or I'll eat it as fried chicken. And then I save the leftovers and I can cook it if I want to. Like here, I'm using it as the meat, the protein for the fried rice, you know, so it can be used as is already cooked, and it can be used later as if it was, you know, me cooking the chicken to use later. And part of it has to do with storage of chicken. You know, chicken is very prone to salmonella. So raw chicken, when you cook the chicken, it can still get, you know, bacteria in it, but the chance of getting the bacteria drops because you cooked it. And also, I usually don't just eat it like that. Like, I don't keep the stuff cold and eat it 3 days later. I usually recook it and I apply all this heat. So this is looking pretty good. The vegetables are kind of thawed out at this point, and the dish is pretty much done, you know. So what do you think, huh? Doesn't that look so good? It's a very simple dish that only takes a few minutes to make, and the reason for that is the rice was already cooked, the chicken's already cooked. The only thing I'm really doing is thawing everything out. You know, thawing out the vegetables, which were frozen. And that's pretty much it. It's done. I am going to go ahead and put this old lid on it. Kind of let it simmer. Make sure that everything's thawed out. But the food is pretty much cooked at this point. I'll be putting together a serving to show you what it looks like. But in the meantime, what I need to do is clean the veggies. So I'm going to turn the heat down. Actually, I'm going to turn the heat off completely. Yeah, I've turned the heat off, but I'm leaving it sealed under the lid there to try to keep it warm. At this point, what I'm going to do is try to rinse things off. I know I should have more water than this, but matter of fact, I will add more water from my little thingy here. I'm just going to rinse off the vegetables a little bit, you know, to get them somewhat clean. I need to open the lid here to let the air flow. There we go. And you might be wondering if my old system with the laundry soap, if I had to do that. Yeah. After you run it a while, you have to loosen that lid and let some air in there. There's like a lot of the fruits and stuff like this, or vegetables, they actually coat it with like wax. So I can still feel the wax on here. I'll try to wipe that off.